Welcome to Michigan City Fire Merit Commission. It's Monday, January 6, 2020. Happy New Year's. It's a few minutes after 5. Let's get things started with the Pledge of Allegiance. If everyone would rise and join me with the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call today. Bob Pollock.
Present.
Greg Deutscher is not here. Charles Williams.
Present.
Ed Zachnow.
Present.
And our attorney, Corey Schaffner. Approval of the minutes. If the commission has had a chance to look at the December 2nd minutes, I'm looking for a motion if there's no changes.
Well, I'll move we approve the minutes, but I have one slight change. If you look under new business on page 2, they make and decisions. That should read, take out the and put in the word any. I'm nitpicking, guys, but it should be any rather than and.
Very good. Is there a, you have the motion then?
Yeah, I made the motion.
Motion
with
the change. Is there a second?
I'll second.
I have a second by Mr. Williams. All those in favor? Aye. Is anybody opposed? No. Okay. Motion passes. Mr. Pollock, communications and claims, please.
Yeah, let me start with the claims. And the first claim that I'll put forth is our attorney for $500 and our secretary, but our present secretary has resigned, but I'd like to put forth it in the motion anyway, in case by the end of the month we find a secretary and that person is able to perform the tasks, which is writing up the minutes of the meeting, putting out the agenda, doing some data entry, that type of thing, that person would then be able to get paid for the month of January. If there's objections, that's fine, but I'd like to see it approved so that if we find somebody and they perform the job, we would be able to pay them. So with that, it would be $500 for our attorney, $238.50 for our secretary, which we currently don't have, a total of $738.50.
A motion by Mr. Pollock. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Williams. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passes.
Budget report. As things currently stand, in our total of our 2019 budget, we got a little too close for me for comfort. Our regular budget, we used 99% of it. We wound up with a remainder of $524. Now, for the special budget, which we had set up owing to the fact that we had to run more testing than we originally planned for, we used 77% of that so far, and I did talk to the controller's office. They agreed to encumber the remainder of that, so we will have the remainder of that for next year because there has been some bills, I think, that are still outstanding that have not yet been submitted. Specifically, I think we've probably got some firefighters that have somehow either they've submitted the bills and it didn't get recorded, or they weren't submitted in terms of their travel and in terms of their food expense when they go back and forth for the Fire Academy in South Bend. So I think we're going to have some of that come in. Plus, we're going to need it for, it appears we're going to wind up doing a lot more testing, both from an academic standpoint and physical agility standpoint, for new hires than we had originally planned for. Now, that's just my estimation. I'm not sure if that will happen, but it looks like we're on the road to that. Move that we accept the budget report.
So I have a motion by Mr. Pollock. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mr. Zechnow. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion passes. Next on the agenda is a report from our City Council representative. At this time, we don't have one. We'll probably have one next meeting. They're going to pick us out a new one within the next week or two. Report from the Commission's attorney.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you down here.
Sorry, one thing that I would have to report is that I'm working with the city attorney on the minority testing. That's all that I have to report.
Okay. Report from Local 475. Nothing to report? Okay. Report from the fire chief. First of all, everybody, I'd like to welcome our new fire chief, Craig Krochuk. Krivak. I'm going to get it sooner or later. I swear to you.
That's okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate that. From the fire chief's office, just a couple of quick things. One, want to give a brief report. We responded to nearly 3,300 calls this past year, 2019. That's up from 1,206 calls last year, which gives us about a 274% increase in call response. A shift responded to approximately 1,129 calls. Our B shift was 1,083 and C shift was 1,086. The members of Michigan City Fire Department conducted approximately 7,300 hours of training during the calendar year of 2019. And an update on the recruits. The new recruits are up the academy. They are currently in the EMS section of the fire training. They have a scheduled tentative date of February 19th of this year to graduate. I'll make sure to get some more information to you guys as far as when the actual time of that event's going to happen. Other than that, that is all I have currently. We have a couple issues under new business that we'll address when the time's right.
Chief, if you want to hang out a second, I think this is going to be quick. Next on the agenda is old business. Commissioners, do you have any old business? New business. Our attorney Schaffner, under new business, it says minority testing. She's working on that. I've also contacted the new human rights director, and she's working on it also with the city attorney, and I'm sure that between the three of you, you can tell us what we need to do and how we need to do it. And Chief, if the next on the agenda is I got some announcements. Will you take care of that?
I can if you
Please.
so desire. The first thing, we'll kind of tie them in together, is the announcement of the retirement of Fire Chief Randy Novak and Deputy Chief Jeff Cox. On January 2nd, with 32 and 33 years respectively, Chief Novak and Deputy Chief Cox retired from the Michigan City Fire Department. After more than 3 decades of service, the Michigan City Fire Department received notice from the retirements of Chief Randy Novak and Deputy Chief Cox. It has been a distinct honor to work alongside these men, and because of their professionalism, the Michigan City Fire Department is stronger than ever with the motivation and fortitude to serve. Michigan City Fire Department has a storied tradition of excellence and aggressive dedication to service that these men displayed every day. Under their leadership, the Fire Department made strides in areas of safety, communication, training, strategy and tactics, and public education. During their career, Chief Novak and Deputy Chief Cox have always maintained a high professional standard that has earned the respect of their peers locally and regionally. With that being said, I would like to, with the retirement of Chief Novak and Chief Cox and their merited rank of captain, like to move to get the promotions started and necessary.
Commissioners, can I get a motion by the commission?
I move that we provide the next names for promotion on the.
I'll second it.
Is that what you were looking for?
As far, what we have is we're going to have a captain, a lieutenant, and a driver for each position. So it would be 2 captains, 2 lieutenants' names, and 2 drivers' names. And then we also had a retirement with Tony Javietsky, who was a driver, so we'll also need an additional driver.
So 2 captains, 2
2
lieutenants.
captains, 2 lieutenants, and 3 drivers.
So I move we provide those names to the chief for promotion.
I'll second it.
I have a motion by Ed Zachnow and seconded by Bob Pollock. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. Next name's on the list.
Appreciate that. The next one calls for the next 2 names on the hiring list. We currently already did the one for Tony, but we do need 2 more names for the next 2 hires on the
I'll
hiring
move
list.
that we provide those 2 names on the list.
I have a motion by Bob Pollock, seconded by
I'll second.
Ed Zachnow. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Passed.
Very good. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Last thing that we have on our agenda before we go into public comment is our recording secretary has left. So we are currently looking for a recording secretary. As Bob mentioned earlier, there is a lot of
Well,
data entry and input to the job, but we are looking and
Well, we should go through HR, and they should circulate it around. My only recommendation is that it be somebody who is currently involved with the city and has access to and understands how to use the city software programs. I would be concerned, but you could also talk to the IT people about this, if we brought in somebody and they were going to utilize an outside system, because it would be too easy to bring in viruses and this type of thing, even if they weren't trying to. These things are out there. They're very easily to bring into a system, and so we, in my opinion, we really need somebody that's familiar with the Michigan City system, how it operates, and will be able to use that system for the data input that they have to do. Thank you.
next on the agenda is public comment. Is there public comment? Any public comment? Public comment? Mr. Mayor? Okay. Public comment? Public comments closed. Commission comments.
I'd just like to thank Chief Novak, Deputy Chief Cox, and Public Information Officer Jevieski for their years of service, and look forward to working with the new chief and new deputy chief.
And I agree. You have our support. So, along with all the firemen, they always have our support. Anything we can do. Any other commissioner comments? Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Mr. Wiggin, second by Mr. Pollack. I'd say we're adjourned. Thank you.